popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Media popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.
What's up, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes? It's your boy, Eddie Collins.
Yes, and it's Justin Brown.
And we are back with a little mini episode. We're bringing back Independent Fridays because we got to shout out Marcellus Cox, who reached out to us to talk about his short film, Liquor Bank, which is based on a true story of an ex-U.S. Marine who relapses after missing his first year sobriety party at an AA meeting group. His sponsor comes to visit him. But yeah, just shout out to Marcellus for reaching out to us and saying, he appreciated us reviewing Mickey Hardaday's film a while back. It was like, I would say last year, probably.
Yeah, it was a minute.
He said he really appreciated it. So he would love for us to, review his short film and give our take on it. And so, Justin, like, what were your impressions after watching this film, which is 15 minutes in length? It's very, very quick, and it's a heavy drama, though. It talks about substance abuse. Well, is alcohol? Yeah, alcohol.
Yeah, it's a substance, Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, yeah, I thought that. Well, for one, I think this is, if you've ever known someone that's in crisis, like so, and just like really having a hard time, and it's like I've been that. Well, I've never been a sponsor for someone, but I've been that person to come and kind of try to help somebody and like talk them through things, and it's like this, it's erratic, and the person is, in some cases a little bit dangerous, but not really dangerous because they're not even, all there for the most part. But just, I didn't know what to expect from this film going in, but like you quickly got to it. You know what I'm saying? Which, yes, it's a short film.
It's a short film. They have very little time.
Yeah, very little time. But I think they did it where it didn't feel as forced as I've seen in other short films. So like I was happy to see that. I thought the actors did a decent job, with the film.
Anton Barnes, who played Eddie, the main character who's relapsed, and then Sean Alexander James plays Baker, who is like his sponsor / friend.
Yeah,
he's trying to support him like during this rock bottom moment that he's experiencing.
And because this is a short film, and they are obviously on a micro budget, they don't have a bunch of stuff. It's like it felt very it felt very raw, right? It felt like I was watching, just a recording of two friends just having a conversation in their apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like it gave me that feeling like, oh, this could definitely be happening right now, which I appreciated. One thing I will say is like, you just needed to be lit a little bit better in some scenes, especially for Mr. Antoine Barnes. But other than that, I thought it was a nice, good, quick watch. And like it had a good a good story to tell, and I think the ending was very hopeful. Was very hopeful. To see him like pour out that beer and take a sip. It was like, all right, you want to go get something to eat? And it's like, but that's what it's like. Saying like you're not here to judge.
I was just like, thank God, because he had that knife to his wrist, and me with the whole like suicide, self-mutilation thing. So yeah, I agree. It was very raw, very raw. Like definitely, clearly, it said based on a true story. So I don't know if this is Marcellus's story. He did write and direct it. But what I really appreciated about it, especially in this current climate where I know a lot of Black men, especially, like including ourselves, who are kind of like in between, like, like doing a lot of freelancing, like we're lacking a little bit of stability, right? And life is already hard enough. And so, people obviously, turn into drugs and alcohol and stuff like that to kind of get through the day and to kind of help them deal with the stress that is life and the trauma that they may have experienced, regret, things like that. And so it's always good to see brothers kind of supporting each other and helping them through hard times, even when someone just really struggles to say, I need help, or ask, struggles to ask for help, or struggles to even sometimes recognize that they do need help. Right. And it's always good to have someone that won't turn their back on you despite you coming at them with a knife the way that Eddie does. You know what I mean? Like, it was that guy Baker just punched the fuck out of him, which is like, hey, you need that big brother love, I guess. You know what I mean?
You need to get cold cocked in the face.
I would say that's definitely something Justin would do to me, and I'm not even drunk. He would just punch me. He'd be like, get it together.
Brandon, I've actually never assaulted you. Never assaulted you.
Well, not physically. Verbally.
Okay.
Verbally. Yes.
No, but I've never truly verbally assaulted you.
Our fans might differ.
On this podcast, no, but like we've been friends since what 2000 2009.
Yeah,
2009. I don't think I've ever like really flipped out on you and said some wild shit to you. Or
no. It's
that's never happened.
Yeah, and that makes me wonder sometimes. Like, it's never come up in therapy before, but I'm like, do I have like? I feel like I have like close friendships and like deep friendships and stuff. Like, I just never like, even like with my best friend Ross. Like, we've maybe had some disagreements, but it's never led to like an argument or like we don't talk for a while. You know what I mean? Like my truly close friends that I talk to like on basically a daily basis. Like, I talk to you basically every day, if not every other day, right? And so it's like I've never had huge blowups, right? Like with my friends, I have had a huge fight with a friend's wife's spouse, but for me that doesn't really count because it didn't affect my friends and I's relationship. We just kind of like talked about, are we cool? Or we're cool. Like, I'll resolve my issues with your wife or whatever that was in our own time or whatever, right? I don't know. What do you think about that? Like, do you feel like that doesn't mean that you have like deep friendships if you never had a huge blow up argument or something?
No, I don't think you need to have a huge blow up argument because I think
that might just be a fucked up skewed thing I have in my head about what friendships are supposed to be, I guess.
No, because I think that in some ways you feel like you need to have some sort of trauma with people and that's a connection.
It can't be a relationship if there's no trauma, baby.
But like, like there are friends who I've had like, issues with and there are friends who I've never had an issue with, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a better friend. It just means that they just weren't around for that kind of real shit, or like I wasn't, I was in a weird moment, or maybe they were and things had to get settled. I think it really just depends. It really just depends on the person and what's going on in their lives. I don't think you've really had. Obviously I'm speaking as me viewing you, but like I don't think that you've had anything that was really wild going on where somebody would have to come at you in that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think, if it's somebody else, they could come at you, but I don't like, I've never seen something where I'd be like, Brandon has to knuckle up right now. This nigga. And like, we've been around with each other for a while. And actually, I guess there are sometimes I was like, Brandon needs to knuckle up with this nigga. But like,
you want to meet other people. Yes, for sure. Like,
but that's how, that's how I would handle some things, but that's not you. I'm a little bit more volatile than you ever were, Brandon. So I don't think that necessarily means that you don't have close connections. I just think that you have a different kind of connection with people.
Yeah, man. I mean, like that just like something that came up when I was watching this, because like to be a sponsor, especially like in like a AA or something like that, or like NA, things like that, requires a lot of commitment because you're also trying to be sober, right? So the sponsors have their own sponsors. It's a huge commitment because this Baker's going out of his way. He probably had to work that day, or he already had worked. He's meeting with this person who's like very resistant at the time. Even like coming at him with a knife, like, I gotta punch you now. I did think it was kind of like questionable that Baker would leave him alone with the knife. Just given
Yeah.
like how he's like, Eddie's hit rock bottom. He's like, trying to, wants to drink again. He's like, life sucks. Like, fuck it. Like, drinking helps me get through the day or whatever.
Mm.
And then he would leave him alone with the knife because, Eddie is about to potentially cut himself and kill himself. And so that's the only thing that didn't quite bump for me. But at the same time, it's like, I can't watch you 24/7. I can only hope that like you have the hope and drive to take care of yourself, to understand this is like it's a misstep, like, and you pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and like start anew.
Well, I mean, but also like he's known him for a year now, right? Well, let's say he's been a sponsor for a year.
Yeah.
People change sponsors and things like that, but like he's known him for a year, so it could just be a thing. It's like he has an idea of who this guy is as a person, and it's just like also like maybe he already knew that this is the best way. It's like you gotta take a step back and let him realize on his own. Maybe he didn't really see him as like he's not that much of a threat to himself.
Mhm.
Like maybe he could get a little out of pocket every now and again, but he's not that kind of guy. So while we could look at it and be like, you don't do that. It was like, but it's just like, but I've known this guy. I know who he is. So maybe that he felt it was probably okay.
Did I ever talk about how I went to a few AA meetings on this podcast?
No.
Yeah, one was for a class, like, because I was getting my counseling degree. Like, so I had to like go to one to like note how like it's facilitated. It's anonymous, so it's like I'm not gonna say it, like, but they're like, our professor was like, I want you to go to like, one of these meetings to see how people facilitate them, to understand how you listen and how you like help give space for other people and like things like that. So I went to one. I can't say like obviously who was there, but there were some celebrities because I was like living downtown Manhattan at the time, and that was interesting. And I didn't share because you go around, like, you can opt to share and stuff like that. I didn't share, but then I did go to 2 meetings, and like it was around the time my grandmother died, and like we have a mutual friend who who likes to drink and party, like, even though they're physically in like great shape or whatever, but his grandmother had died not too long before mine, and so we were going hard, like we were drinking like every night. Like I was going to work like looking crazy. I was still working and stuff, but it was just like it was bad. It was really bad. So I was going to these meetings, and this guy was like this older gentleman like came up and he was like, "Hey, do you have a sponsor?" Blah blah blah. And I remember that's when I was like, I gotta get this under control because I don't want this gentleman who is willing to dedicate time to me when all I have to do is just stop this shit. Like it's not like I'm looking to escape something. It's like I'm just trying to bury this pain, right? But it's I have friends that love me, I have family that loves me. I can get through this, right? Like it's not like the stories I'm hearing where people are abandoned and like they've made so many bad decisions that no one's in their corner anymore. They have to build up that trust again. And so I was like, I don't want to take this time from this gentleman because like just from what I was seeing, I'm like, this is so taxing. It requires so much emotional intelligence and bandwidth. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So that's actually the beginning of me like kind of chilling out. I told the friend, like, I was like, hey man, I'm not gonna meet you in Greenpoint anymore. Like I gotta get my life together. You know what I mean? So me telling you that location, you could probably guess who it is. But
So it's funny. Did I tell you when I went to an AA meeting?
No.
So I have a friend of ours, who was asthma issues. So he was going to meetings and such like that.
Okay.
And like we were supposed to go hang out. He was like, "Hey, I want to hit a meeting. I want to go to a meeting first." I'm like, "Yeah, but like of course." I had gotten off for work, but like I had already met up with him. I was like, "I'll just go to the meeting with you. Like it's fine." Now, mind you, I've been working all day, so like I'm at this meeting, and like, and I didn't realize how tired I was. So a little bit, I was kind of nodding off. But again, I'm nodding off in an AA meeting, guys. Now, mind you, like,
yeah, you give up that attention,
yeah. If you know anything about Justin, like I never drank, like I don't smoke. I've done, I'm pretty, like almost 100% clean for the most part, outside of like some edibles. So I'm at this meeting, and afterwards, guy walks up and he's just like, he's talking to my friend or whatever. I'm kind of just like hanging out, letting him do his thing. Guy walks up to me. He's just like, "Hey, like I want to see you back here." I'm just like, "No, I'm just, here to just kind of support him." He's like, "Hey, I want to see you back here." And I was just like, "Oh,
because so many people
not enough because I was high." Gotcha.
Yeah, so many people go to those meetings in denial and stuff, like, so they constantly are pushing you like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even like go to correct him or anything. I was just like, you know what, like it's fine, like it's fine. I could, it's not that big of a deal to me that somebody thinks that I was high on some shit. I was like, whatever. But like it was very interesting to see that, especially as someone who's never done anything, but also kind of furthered my resolve. And was like, yeah, I don't think drinking is the thing I'm going to be doing anytime soon because like yeah, shit was yeah, I heard some wild shit, and
Yeah, man.
like, yeah, I was just like, oh, I was like, oh shit, motherfuckers have it like this is how far people have gone down this rabbit hole. It's like that's wild, but also at the same time, I'm tired, Brandon, I'm
Todd.
tired.
Well, that's the thing is we never hear about like what and it could be a bunch of things. We don't quite get the idea, like the context about what the source of Eddie's drinking is, like what's so painful from his past. But like we're humans. We all have so many different stories and experiences that it could be a lot of different elements and stuff like that, And
Doesn't he say that he lost his job or something like that?
yeah. But he said that he didn't really care much about that though. He was like, it wasn't like his favorite job or anything like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
he did recently lose his job. But at the same time, that can hurt confidence. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. It's a
especially
spiraling kind of event.
and that's the thing too, is like, between COVID and, people losing their jobs and like, having like food insecurity, so many things, man. It's like, again, life is so fucking hard, and so people, they turn to things to escape from reality because reality is really fucking tragic at times. And so that's why, like, I appreciate that this movie really emphasized the power of AA and getting support, because I know not everybody like ascribes to what AA stands for and stuff like that, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you do need a support group. You do need someone to be able to pick you up when you hit rock bottom.
And
Unfortunately,
that's the most important aspect of it. It's like it's the community, and having a positive community around you, even around something which is seemingly so negative in your life, but someone there to help you work through those those feelings and those negative thoughts which lead you to do that kind of destructive aspect of your psyche. So it's like, yeah, it's super important.
and all this is to say, Marcellus Cox, great job, man. Like, because you wrote something that's incredibly powerful, very raw. I think that I don't know if this story is worth exploring for like a full feature. But at the same time, this is a great sample work for yourself. I hope that it leads to you continuing to do like, more storytelling, whether it's to film or your writing or producing, whatever fulfills you the most. But we really, really appreciate you reaching out to us. Justin, you want to break down how we rate the independent films?
Uh, and to be
We don't
totally
do that
honest,
stuff.
yeah, we don't do but like so we it's been a while, but we do small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. I think small, medium, large. We don't need an XL for exceptional. But like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do for these. Brandon.
So I'm giving you a large. I'm giving Liquor Bank a large. Very great, powerful performances. It's 15 minutes of just, it throws you right in. It's very intense. But I thought that the writing was solid, very realistic, like you said, raw. Um, yeah, I have no complaints. Except like I said, like leaving Eddie alone with that knife was a bit problematic. But at the same time, Baker can't be there 24/7 to watch over him. And even with a sponsor
Mm-hmm.
that's dedicated as much as this character was, they can't be there all the time. That's why you did the best you can for people when you were there in the moment, and just hope for the best and hope that they know that people love them, that people see them, and that's enough. But
Yeah.
what's
I'm gonna give it a medium. I mean, everything you said, I'm 100% with that. Giving them like that tough reality check, and just like all that. Only reason I'm not gonna give you a large is like you gotta like that brother a little bit better, in the scene, because we want to make sure. I'm big on just making sure Black people look great on camera, and just certain some scenes he was a little too dark, where you really couldn't make out some of his facial features and things like that, and his expressions. And the expressions, lend a lot to especially a short film like this. So just make sure you just hone in on that lighting. I think you're definitely in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, lighting is expensive, bro.
I know. But believe me, I get it. I get it. But if we're gonna be critical, I feel like just making sure like those little technical aspects, that's the shit that takes you to the next level. And I never want to be the person that's just gonna yes and you and just be like yeah everything's good. It's like there's a little thing like I'll tell it, and it's just lighting. It's just lighting. But I think while yes, it's not necessarily an easy fix, because you have to learn that shit, and it's a lot. But it's something to aspire to make sure, especially just people of color, because I think a lot of short films I've seen with white folks is just like it's not that big of an issue, and the shadows actually play to their characters, obviously depending on the project. But for black people, it's like if the lighting's not there, certain skin tones is like you lose so much. And then like somebody say,
sorry,
go ahead.
I was gonna say,
finish that.
if the lighting ain't there, black skin don't fare. All right, I tried.
Okay, I'm glad that you knew that wasn't it.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Justin, how can people follow you as well as support the show financially, baby?
Guys, you can follow me. First of all, stop calling me Baby Brandon. I see what you tried to slip that in there, you little piece of shit.
Slipped it in. You almost didn't feel it.
Jesus. All right, guys, you can follow me at JBrownDid on all the social media platforms. And Brandon?
Yeah, you can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on all social media platforms. You can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on those same platforms as well. MediaPopcorn.com for all your media popcorn needs. And again, Patreon.com/MediaPopcorn support the show. We have $2 to $15 tiers, as well as, if money is tight, you can't pay on a monthly basis, take yourself over to coffee.com/medium popcorn, and you could donate up to as much money as you want, but you can it's the equivalent of a coffee or medium popcorn you can send us, and that's just a one-time
love, baby.
Show support, baby. Coffee.com/medium popcorn. All this is in the show notes for this episode, as well as where you can watch Liquor Bank. We're going to get that information from our director. We don't have it immediately available, but as soon as we get that from Marcellus, we'll put that in the show notes so you can check out the short film as well.
That's how we do it, baby.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Hope you all enjoyed this Independent Friday. And if you are a filmmaker and you would love us to check out your short film or even a feature, it might take us a little bit longer to get to it, but please feel free to send it over to mediumpod@gmail.com. Again, that's mediumpod@gmail.com. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Bong, bong.